Welcome to My Safe Word is More with your hosts from Survivor and Amazing Race, Corinne Kaplan, stand-up comedian Al Jackson. I'm Chris, your producer, and this is My Safe Word is More.
You know, Chris, we had a really funny Instagram. We had Chris in a picture on our Instagram, My Safe Word is More, and somebody wrote in and said, I had no idea Chris wasn't black. And
Do I sound black? I think I sound like the whitest guy ever. I'm from freaking Wisconsin.
There goes our minority loan.
I know.
Thanks a
Don't
lot.
you know?
Yeah, blue. Yeah, who thought Chris was? I think Chris has the persona and the demeanor of a black guy.
he's chill.
That like can go to a jazz bar with 59-year-old black women and have an 80% hit rate at the bar.
Super old school.
Yeah, I like it.
Well, today is special because
'Cause I'm here?
Yes, because Al is here.
Mm-hmm.
It's special because we don't usually get to record on Fridays. Al is usually on the road, so follow his stand-up, Al Jackson Comedy.
That's right.
But he's in town, and we all decided to record. But because it's a Friday, I have a martini. It's not in a martini glass.
I got
Yeah.
one too.
Yes.
Yes, and
It's a special martini.
yeah, you want to tell the people?
Al doesn't drink, by the way.
I do not drink, and I was yelled at about even reaching for my water. So
Yes.
I'll just watch you guys.
I'm not going to annoy you with sipping. I just wanted to point out that
Yes,
on set.
Corinne is drinking a decaf espresso martini.
Yes. And I have a lot to say on this. Now, before we started, our very kind producer from Yay Network was telling us that she thinks it's kind of like, it's like doing it wrong,
It's
right?
weird.
Like if you're going to have an espresso martini, there needs to be caffeine. And I'm very sensitive to caffeine. And so I can't have caffeine really at all. And if I had it this late, like I'm really in trouble, really bad.
Like you're not sleeping at all.
No. And
This is weird because you're not sensitive to
Adderall.
alcohol or any drugs or
No.
anything known to man.
Caffeine is
except for caffeine, the most sort of mild thing
Yes.
ever.
it will take me out. So interestingly, my father is so allergic to caffeine that, and it's like a degenerative thing, like over time it got worse. He can't have chocolate because there's enough caffeine in there to give him heart palpitations.
What?
Get out of here.
So I have this weird, so I can't have caffeine. So I thought I would also, just because we're talking about this, tell a fun story.
That's the way somebody kills their husband on one of those 48-hour mysteries. Where you're like, he's found with two Mr. Goodbar next to him. Like, yeah, that's so crazy.
Yeah. So years ago, just to kick this off, we're going to do some listener voicemails, some Gmails, and then I have some private, well, I don't know, private, but just stories. And so just because it's relevant, I used to do a birthday party every year with Joyce. And when we lived in New York, she was a publicist. So she would get liquor sponsors and she would do all the work. I mean, I just had to invite my famous and friends and
That's crazy.
yeah. So we rented out a place. It was called Retox, which is funny, like instead of Detox. It was a big nightclub. We rented the whole place out. And in the brokering of the deal, one of her clients was a vodka called Pink Vodka. And Pink Vodka was the first ever caffeinated vodka. So this was back in the heyday of like Red Bull vodka, but this takes the Red Bull out of the equation. The problem is
Isn't capitalism amazing?
Yeah.
Whatever you have, somebody's like, we can one up that.
So the problem was that no one knew about Pink Vodka because she was just launching it. She got them to give us cases of it, but we didn't tell people it was caffeinated vodka. It was the open bar. We had all these different cocktails. Like her nickname was Kitty Chow Mein and mine is Coco von Muffelstein. So we had like the Coco von Muffelstein drink and the Kitty. So we had all these things, but people were not warned. And so like midway through the party, it was clear something was wrong. So what tends to happen is you can drink a lot more when you're being caffeinated,
Right.
but the caffeine has a shorter half-life. So it wears off first and then you're just catatonic, right? Like now all the alcohol has hit you. And people were mixing the fucking caffeinated vodka with Red Bull.
Oh my God.
And so it was so messy. They took that shit off the market like a year later.
I'm sure after several class action lawsuits that
Yeah.
involved some dead teenagers playing Call of Duty for 3 straight days. That's
Yeah.
bananas.
It was,
Did it taste good? Did it
yeah.
taste weird?
You tasted great. The bottle was gorgeous. It had
tasted like just regular vodka?
Yeah, you wouldn't know. Wasn't the problem. Yeah. And it was delicious, but yeah. All right. So I thought an interesting story that happened to me. I feel very lucky, I guess, to have this responsibility. So I have really good friends that are engaged to be married. They're also lesbians and they are picking out a sperm donor.
Oh.
Yes. And you guys may remember that I have a goddaughter. and she was created with a sperm donor. So I have a little bit of experience in like, I mean, I didn't have any say in what Julie did. Julie went like, had to be blue-eyed, 6'2", Yale graduate, Jewish, like
Yale graduate.
Mhm.
Okay.
I don't think it had to be Ivy League. This one ended up being Yale. But back in the day, they didn't ever give you adult pictures. It was only the children, like them looking, you know, what they look like as a kid, which is really not that helpful.
Oh.
But that was how it used to work. Well, now apparently some of them do give you adult pictures. So my friends were like, we have scoured, like we are a part of 7 different banks, which each one costs money to like look through. We have sifted through
a
thousands.
ton of jizz.
Yeah. And we have
swimming through it.
Yeah. They were like, we have our top 5 candidates. We want you to weigh in. And I was like, oh, okay.
Okay.
It's cool, right?
That's kind of playing goddish a little
It
bit.
is. It is.
Wow.
And so, you know, they did ask for my opinion, but we have very different criteria. So they give you lots of weird stats. Not everyone has every stat, but 2 of the stats that I thought were interesting is they will tell you if this person is hairless or has a lot of body hair.
Oh. What do you like better?
Hairless.
Okay.
And they will tell you if this person had acne as a child.
Wow.
I know. And there's obviously some of them will tell you like law school graduate or, you know, like intelligent stuff. And but everyone, you get the height, you get the weight. Obviously, well, I was like, don't show me anybody that doesn't have adult pictures because I do not give a shit. Like kids, I can't tell.
Right. Yeah.
So,
What are you supposed to look at the kid and be like, yeah, he'd be fuckable in 20 years? Like, that's a weird.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. And that was the other thing. So they start showing me the top 5 candidates. And I'm like, ladies, I would date any of these men. Like, let's just get the sperm for free.
Right.
Like,
I can get it.
how about, so we're reverse image searching, but the reproductive place is smart, or the sperm donor place. They have them take a picture at the sperm donor location. And that picture is not reverse Google image searchable because it doesn't exist anywhere else. But you get like a full, like you get to see the guy, what he looks like, his body, everything. And so I was like, what do you think the first criteria I went with was? This should be easy.
Height.
There it is. I was like, get that 5'10" clown out of the pool. Immediately ejected him. And I said, I don't want to look at anyone that's under 6'2". And like one of the girls is extremely athletic. And so when they have a boy, like the genes, there's like a really good gene pool here.
I feel like this happened in Germany. Sometime around the 40s.
There is something.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay.
One race.
We got the height thing. Obviously, we went with all like guys that had their hair, you know, like things like that. But so I'm gonna
that might skip a generation, by the way.
Yeah. So one of the girls, Cindy, was like, we know each other from, we did ayahuasca together, and that's how we met years ago. We sit with the same tribe. I'm not going to get into that on this episode. However, yes, I do ayahuasca. That is about the only woo-woo thing ever about me. And I don't find it to be woo-woo. I think it's like medicinal, but nevertheless, she's a lot more like, she was like, I'm going to read you the letter of why they want to be a donor so you can see if you vibe. And I was like, vibe with what? I don't need the letter. She's like, well, this video made me cry. I was like, I don't need that either.
People are making videos saying, please take my sperm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so,
do they get more? They get paid? If they're chosen?
No. It doesn't. They have no horse in the race at all.
I think they do. I think their horse is that they have a God complex and they want to create as many seedlings as possible.
So you can also buy out all the sperm. Like that's what Julie did. So there's not going to be any.
Oh,
like,
really?
Yeah.
Wait, what do you mean buy out all the sperm? Like,
so that there's no more kids from that guy.
So that guy can have biological children of his own, but he cannot donate to any other sperm bank or anything. Because you don't want to run into the, this issue where, like you're saying, this guy just wants to have like 1 million kids. So as we're going through them, I was like, okay, what about like the one that I immediately was drawn to is 6'5", played Division I volleyball, like perfect teeth, perfect hair. Like he was just like, I was very much into him. And Cindy was like, I don't know. I don't feel a connection. I was like, you're not birthing him. Like, just look at the stats, look at the data. And she's like, well, I really like this guy. And I was like, his job says arborist. And she's like, well, Corinne, because she's a VP of a company now. She goes, I didn't do that well in high school. And I was like, yo, we have the opportunity to have a kid born on third base. Like, why would we go with arborist? No judgment, but judgment. Obviously not super intelligent.
Wait, what's an arborist?
They cut trees for a living. I've dated one.
Oh.
I don't know about date. I went out with one a couple times.
Yeah, but arborist could be like maybe he maintains like the lawn at the White House or something.
Okay, maybe he does.
Like you could be a
That's
caterer.
not way better.
Yeah, all right. Well, I don't know.
No,
I'm trying
but
to
I
fight for the arborist out here.
So I just immediately was like, arborist out of the pool. And so I just kept angling for 6'5" guy. I was like, look his perfect teeth. And I'm doing the thing. I go, see how good his teeth are? That's because he grew up with a home that he got braces. Like, it was so obvious. He had beautiful, beautiful teeth. And I was like, this guy has money. Like, didn't do this for the money, didn't. And like, anyways, they went with my choice.
Wow.
I know. I'm creating a kid, you guys.
That's fantastic.
I know.
Yay.
And
You should walk up and just be like, I made you on their 18th birthday, and then you'll be escorted out.
And then it's an open situation that the guy is open to being contacted, I think at 18, like his information, something like that. I think that's the way it works, because you can fully see his face and everything. But I was like, I will totally date this guy.
Oh.
I just thought of an
then
issue.
you'd be the
though.
kid's like stepmother.
I don't think that's the
little
way we
bit.
call it. But yeah, I thought that was really exciting and fun news.
It is, but I see a problem with all this. And Chris, you tell me if you feel this. What Corinne and her friend are doing is obviously perfectly legal. If you got the money, do it. Make sure to have as perfect of a kid as you can. But you're always going to go for the 6'5", perfect teeth guy. And that guy is not going to be any fun because he can't be.
He was a Division I athlete.
By the way, you
Plenty
just
of fun.
don't know. He could be a
Yeah.
psychopath.
Well,
He could be lovely and wonderful. And also the whole genetic tree thing, it's so arbitrary. Just because he's that great guy doesn't mean the kid's going to be.
No, we're going strictly on data, right? It does mean the kid is likely to be tall, right?
Yeah, likely.
Right. And like
You're
the
playing
color,
the odds.
they wanted like almond shaped eyes because that's their eyes are almond shaped, like all that stuff.
Almond.
You can pick the eye shape?
Well, this guy had almond shaped eyes, and they wanted his heritage to
Aren't
be
all eyes
part
almond-shaped
Greek,
eyes?
and he was part Greek. Like, yeah, there's a whole bunch of things that went into it.
It's kind of weird.
But my point is, a 6'5", almond-shaped eyes guy has no incentive to be funny or interesting at a party because girls just go up to him and be like, "Here's my room key.
Right.
Yeah,
Shut up."
But
Is
that's
he cool?
But-
What you should clone a couple of me and Chris's because somebody's got to keep your boring ass parties going because we have to carry the conversation weight for old almond eyes over here.
Well,
Right.
but you
And
have
I'm
to
6'2", by the way.
Yeah.
you have to understand that I know that. You don't think I know that? The deal is that like I think that 6'5" guy was probably popular his whole life because he was picked for all the sports. Like, so yeah, I mean, when he's older, that's how he's getting laid. But like when he's younger, he's just like a popular kid, and he's got to have a personality to.
But he's still good looking when he's younger.
It's a
Why do
crapshoot no matter what,
Yeah.
right?
I'm good looking and funny. Why can't you be both?
Yes, but you're
you
one
are.
of a kind.
Hmm.
There's not a lot of Corinne's. And that's what I'm saying. I just don't want to curate everything because we got to leave some randomness for some sixes over here. Al
It's
Jackson.
so interesting,
Yeah.
right? Because it's all still a crapshoot. But
Well,
you're just playing the odds.
we'll see how it turns out.
Congrats on your
Thank you.
little
done.
one.
Yeah, thank you.
You're
Thank
a
you.
stepmother.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna go to break, and after break, we're gonna get into some listener advice and some go naked. So,
Oh,
We'll be right back.
Yes.
Love it.
all right, so we're gonna kick this off with a listener Gmail, and yes, I am saying Gmail still. I'm not gonna
done
stop.
fighting.
hmm
Mhm.
And I want to tell all of you, if you want to write in, it's my safe word is more advice @gmail.com. We love when you send these in. And this was great. So this one says, "Hi, Corinne, Al, and Chris. First, thank you for the shocking laugh out loud moments. Corinne, your life is endlessly entertaining. Thank you. I live it."
That's why we do a pod.
He said, "Please help. I need to know how to get revenge on my upstairs neighbors. I live in an expensive apartment complex here in Denver, and I have ridiculously loud upstairs neighbors that moved in 4 months ago. I am constantly hearing what sounds like stomping, running back and forth, loud crashes from 7 a.m. to well past midnight. Wall decor has visibly swayed, and my hanging light fixtures have rattled. My only guess is that they are heavy walkers who also do a regular calisthenic routine that involves jumping and owning a large dog. I am generally a calm person, and this has me outraged. I do not feel it is my responsibility to solve this and correct their poor behavior, so I contacted the building management over a month ago." Oh, I don't even have to read the email to know what fucking building management did. Even with numerous back and forth emails documenting weekly disturbances, they have not provided any real solution despite email warnings issued to the neighbors, a visit from security, and issuing a noise violation. I have accepted that I likely won't get the results I am looking for and I will need to move out. I'm tempted to walk upstairs and offer to remove their legs to help them be less heavy-footed, or else simply pound on their door at 3 a.m. on a regular basis. Tempted, but I prefer not being evicted. First, how would you approach management to get this resolved quicker? Second, is there a way for me to get back at my neighbors to make them suffer as much as they have made me without getting me evicted and also revealing my identity as the one getting revenge on them? Thank you so much for any wisdom you can impart on me. And he signed it Matt, who is the first swimmer I met in the wild at Charlie's because he lives in Denver.
Oh, yeah.
Hi, Matt.
Oh,
Yeah.
Matt.
I know. So I love that he wrote in. And I want to know. So first, let's answer, how would you approach management?
You know, I say hip hop explains everything. I'm going back to Wu-Tang Clan. Cash rules everything around me. Building doesn't care about you, doesn't care about your neighbors, but they do care about the fixtures, especially if this is an expensive building and this person has said things have swayed. I'm not above maybe loosening a little something, detaching a light fixture a little bit, and just letting them know, if this falls on my head, not only am I going to sue your balls off,
Yeah.
but I am not responsible for these light fixtures. I have alerted you to what's going on upstairs, and balls in your court. They will act, because if they can picture whatever is swaying above your head, landing on your head, and that payout, they will figure out a way to get that shut down.
Well, so that's similar in line with what I was going to go with, which is always, I mean, you can ask all of my lawyer friends. Julie's a lawyer, Eliza's a lawyer, Franny's a lawyer. I am like, can you draft something for me? Because I am always like, you're not going to hear from me. You're going to hear from my lawyer. Look,
Yes.
a letter is documented and sent from a lawyer. Sometimes my cousin Josh, and that's like that building management. So the people in the management office have no pull. They report to
They're hourly salaried employees.
But there's like a black hole of these huge conglomerates that own all these buildings in Denver, because I've dealt with this myself. And so the only way to get attention and to get that escalated is that it comes from a lawyer. And so that would be my first suggestion, not to actually pay a lawyer, just get one of your lawyer friends to do it. I mean, mine are always like really open to doing this.
Yeah.
Right. Or just come up with a lawyer.
And I want to say that buildings in Denver, I only know this because Matt lives in Denver and I've had this. Before I bought my place, I was renting, and actually Franny flew to Denver to try and help me pick a place to live, because also I had like no idea what I was doing. And
I 14? What is this, big? You can't pick out an apartment by yourself?
No, I can't. Because this is why. So I don't read reviews. I think like sometimes I leave reviews and
Right.
but like I don't look at a review before I go to a restaurant. Like I don't really care about your opinion. I don't know. And so
I feel the same way.
Franny like looked up all this shit. So I took her to my number one choice. Like I was very adamant that I wanted to live there, the first place, because they had a wine fridge. And that was a selling point to me. And so she's like, have you read the reviews? I was like, well, I told you about the wine fridge. And she goes, the reviews are dog shit. Everyone hates living there. And I was like, well, how many? And she's like, every review, they have 1 star. And I was like, it's a brand new building. Barely anyone even lives there. Fuck it. So we go to check it out. And she was like, do you want to know what the reviews are? And I was like, no. And she had already read them, so she knew. We go in, they show me the apartment that I want, and it's a beautiful view of the Platte River below. And this is daytime, obviously. And she goes, okay. She goes, she'll take this place if I can you show me an apartment that has a unit next to it that's empty? I would like to test something out. And so they were like, yeah, actually, because the building was brand new. So it was like half empty. So they were like, yeah, sure. So they take me, and she goes, Corinne, you're going to stand in this bedroom. I'm going to go next door. I'm going to flush the toilet, okay?
Oh.
And so I go, all right, this is why you bring Franny with you. She flushes the toilet. It sounds like a fucking tsunaami in my apartment. And so she read the reviews, and the reviews were like, the walls are paper thin. So I wanted to point out that, and I want to point out that you are in a situation where it's possible that those people are actually not doing anything wrong. The building was poorly created. Like that's probably more likely than them doing some fucked up shit. I remember in LA, my neighbor moved to a new building, and the person above him had a dog and would bounce a tennis ball. And it was like insufferable, because same thing, LA, they spend no money on any of the like infrastructure to like reduce noise. In the case of that building, to round out that story, Franny goes, also, the Platte River that you think is so pretty, It's a homeless encampment at night.
I was gonna say you were talking
She
about the
goes,
Flat River, like it's the French Riviera.
No, it's where homeless people wash their balls, which I would have realized.
Wash their balls?
Yes,
Oh.
I've seen a lot of balls being washed in that river.
Really?
Yes.
Yes, that's why you read the reviews.
Right.
Yeah.
And so then I take Franny to my second choice, and it was like this fuck you huge. And I'm coming from LA where we have no space. It was like 4 bedrooms. And so we go, and immediately she's like, do you think there's a reason it's so inexpensive? I'm like, it's across the street from the other fancy building. It's in, I don't know, maybe it's older. And she goes, you don't smell anything? And I was like, well, it smells a little funny. And she's like, there's a full-on sewage issue at this building. And like, it was, their train runs behind it. So I asked the person, I go, does the train run at night? And she goes, no. And Franny goes, a quick Google search, this train runs all night long. You think the train's going to stop because you need to sleep? So cut to, I would have absolutely been fucked if Franny hadn't come with me. And then when we went to the building I chose, it was the first person, like they hadn't sold any units yet. It was just new. The first person signing up was this adorable black guy and his Asian wife. And she's like, you're moving here. There's a black guy moving in. Like, she's like, this is a good sign. Yeah. And he's like this incredible photographer that I'm still friends with. Anyways. So
I have one more way to get around this.
So interesting.
Go ahead, because then we got to get on what to do to the neighbors.
Yes, what I was gonna say is what's in this room right now. You get some cardboard and get some soundproofing. It will be a bitch.
Jesus Christ.
You could pay somebody to do it, but you won't hear anybody. You won't hear anything anymore. Go to TaskRabbit. Get that knocked out for like $200.
My takeaway is some people are so much more savvy than others. Like your friend Franny, thinking of all these things that you and I would not think of.
Yeah, totally. And so the other thing you wanted to know is the revenge. And so I was going to give you a sample. I may have said this on a previous podcast of something I didn't end up doing, but it was I racked my brain for like the worst thing I could do to these people. And it was they were DJs. And we had a courtyard. They weren't anywhere near me. They were across from me on the courtyard. The courtyard carries the sound. And in the middle of the day, they would practice their DJing. And it's totally legal. There's no sound ordinance in the middle of the day. And it would drive me fucking insane.
Did this start your hatred of DJs, or was it?
It just
kept it on a warmer, at a buffet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Al's a DJ.
I know.
Yeah, and just like that, the hatred is palpable.
Because I mean, other than you, they're generally douchebags. And so in the case of these guys, I was like, there's no amount of, trust me, the front office could not have given a shit. And also they were allowed to do whatever they wanted during the day, apparently. And I just was like, what can I do? What can I do? And so what I wanted to settle on, this is dark, so bear with me.
Okay.
I thought, I don't know if this is going to read well. Nathan, earmuffs, I really despise cats.
Oh,
I think cats are really like awful. And so I wanted to go to the shelter and adopt out like 4 cats and then tie them like with a leash to the front door with a note that said like, these pussies love DJs. They're yours now. I thought the worst thing.
Oh, that's the weirdest thing I've ever heard in my life.
The worst thing you could do.
What is the connection?
I guess like, so I've had nightmares where I find a baby and then like, like, people do this, right? They leave a baby on someone's front doorstep. Like, so I thought, it's going to be a hassle to figure out what to do with these fucking cats. And then who did this? It's so weird and dark. And
that is a revenge.
So I thought all I wanted for them is to be scared. I wanted them to be like, who hates us? Maybe we shouldn't DJ anymore during the day,
That's the weirdest thing ever.
It was what I wanted to do.
And what happens to the cats?
I don't care.
I don't like cats either, by the way.
I just don't give a shit. But
I like chill cats. I kind of do. I mean, not from my home. I just can't. We travel around too much. But if somebody's got a cat, it's like you've been there for like an hour 20 and the cat finally strolls out.
I don't know what the point of that is. But well, in the same vein, since you all have learned of my love of cats now, I wanted to read another email that came in.
That revenge would serve, while you're looking for the email, to confuse the people that you're doing, because I wouldn't know.
Right, but what happens to the damn cats?
It doesn't matter. It's
It
your
does matter.
no. I'm sure they're not gonna kill them or anything. He's gonna fucking figure out how to rehome 4 cats, which is a huge pain in the ass. Can
Yes, it
everyone
is.
just listening agree with me that if you had to figure out what to do with 4 cats with no warning whatsoever
Right.
and an ominous
It
note,
would be a huge hassle.
it's a huge mind fuck.
But if you do that, now you have 4 more living things jumping and knocking shit over above your head.
He wasn't above my head. He was across the courtyard.
Oh, but
I'm
saying if this person takes your advice.
Well, I mean, cats are
So your
gentle.
advice is get 4 cats.
Right.
Go to the shelter. These cats are like, oh my God, yay, we got adopted. And you're like, well, kind of.
Yeah, preferably they're in that cat band, so they're also playing instruments up there. What was that called?
The acro cats.
The acro cats.
Yeah.
We haven't heard from them in forever.
This is genius advice.
Thank you. Okay, so the next email is seeking dog advice. And this is from Alex. And he said, Dear Corinne, Alan, Chris, I know Corinne hates dogs. So I'm looking for some comedic relief. I fostered a dog and I miss him so much. I need Corinne to tell me to get over it. Longtime listener, love all of you. Every time an episode comes out, I play it twice in a row and re-listen often.
Oh my goodness.
I know.
Love you.
Thank you, Alex. So yeah, what do you say? You don't like dogs either.
I do. I have a dog in LA. I had a dog. My ex-wife kept the dog, which was fine. But I mean, I got a dog because it was given to me because it needed a home. And I got the only dog I think you would like. Layla is quiet. She refused to walk. She would not walk and she never barked. She could not. I don't know if she does not or cannot, but she has never barked ever. So she's quiet. She likes to chill. She's like an unemployed 23-year-old that's just like, I won't make any noise down here as long as you don't kick me out.
Well, this is what I would say to you. I'm going to give you like real, like genuine advice. It sounds
for getting over this dog.
Well, I mean, I don't know if it's for getting over the dog, but like, it sounds to me like you are sort of half in, half out, like you're fostering, but like maybe you can't really have one. Or so like my situation with my alpaca was that I board him at a place that's 35 minutes away. I see him when I want. I fucking don't when I don't. And I think that's the perfect scenario. So if you're interested in like I really, 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 this was not possible, but I wanted a black and white lemur. And in Florida, you can sponsor it and it lives, at the lemur property, and then you can come and visit it, but you pay for all of its expenses, which is how they want people to pay for the lemurs.
Do you have the same pet taste as like an 80s Coke dealer would?
Yes, I do. I know.
Weird animals.
Yeah.
But so I feel like there's a world in which you can, all right, first of all, you want me to tell you to get over it? Here's the deal. What was it? A fucking golden doodle? There's another one. Like there's a million of them. Like it's not special. So it's totally replaceable. That's literally the entire branding of getting a dog is like, it's going to die in like 10 to 15 years, but then you get another one. So like,
I see a career in hospital bereavement for you. Like, listen, Granny was getting up there. Her food was slipping. Let's be honest.
I mean, that's the other thing. Make a more strong human connections. You shouldn't be this attached to a fucking dog.
Either. And just
said the non-ever dog owner.
I owned a dog all growing up and I was not attached.
It's different when you're like, it wasn't your dog.
Well, it was bought for my brother and I.
What I'm saying is you didn't take care of it, your parents did.
Right. And
that's because the bunny I took care of didn't make it.
I will say this in a way a positive way for him to get over the loss of a dog or not having a dog anymore. When you're doing some fun shit, when he's out at 3 o'clock in the morning and he's about to go home with this person that he's been looking at all night, he's like, word, remember right in that moment, couldn't do this if I had a dog.
Yes.
When you jet set and you're like, let's dip out to Vegas for the night. Dude, my boy works for United. We can fly for free. We'll come back tomorrow morning. Couldn't do that if you had a dog. All the things that you can do, note them in real time. Like, yeah, I love that dog, but would I like to not get on my boy's private plane right now because I have to walk this motherfucker and open a goddamn jar in 3 hours for him? No. So remember, in real time, when you're doing fun shit that you couldn't do if you had a dog.
Yeah, I love that advice. All right, after this break, we're going to come back and do a voicemail. All right, guys. So I am going to play a voicemail from our buddy Levins. However, I want to tell you the number, and I have written it down this time. 720-295-1209. You can call in and leave a voicemail. He actually sent a voice memo via our email, which works too. But we love hearing your voice. It's really nice. So here we go.
Hey, Corinne, Al, and Chris. I have a gripe. So, my sister gave birth to her child yesterday. She's still in the hospital, and they're getting discharged to go home tomorrow. And she's announcing the sex of the baby. It's a boy on the family group text, but there's no name. And by her own admission, they need to come up with something quickly because they're going home tomorrow. What? You had 9 months. You had 9 months and you have nothing. You're going home tomorrow. It's just so weird. Am I going crazy or is this weird?
Okay, so you guys, I'm about to have some children, but I didn't previously. So why don't you guys tell me what your take is on the? I don't. Just from a logical perspective, like I have no idea what do you mean? What do you mean you have nothing?
I'll tell you what that is, and it seems like they just got the gender of the baby over the group text, so they were clearly withholding that as well. So I think what happens when people have children, especially their first child, is they make it an event. Almost like the unveiling of a Super Bowl commercial where they're giving you snippets.
Yeah.
And they're like, we don't want to tell you the gender. We're not even going to give you the first letter because we have to feel the baby's aura when it comes out. This is a first baby thing. So I'm telling you, the next one, you'll know the gender as soon as they leave the first appointment, and they'll have a name ready. But they're taking this way too seriously. And now, you know what it's like, Cookie, it's like when somebody holds their virginity too long and it becomes a thing. You know, when there's like, you could be a 20-year-old virgin, but like when you're 27, now you're like, well, I don't want to give it up to some rando. I'm going to hold on.
I see.
And now they've waited to the day before they're leaving the hospital. And now it's like, well, are we going to name him Atlas? We could name him after my grandfather, who was a longshoreman. They held on to the virginity of this name for too long, and now they're weird about it, and they're going to be a 39-year-old that hasn't had any dick because they're waiting for Prince Charming when they should have just knocked that shit out in Cancun when they were 19.
What is your take, Chris?
Well, see, when I had kids, I have a couple kids. I enjoyed the conversations about baby names. That was super fun. Like we had endless conversations about what we should name the kid during that 9 months, and it was fun. It was fucking fun to talk about it. All the ideas and things. It gave us shit to talk about. I totally enjoyed it. And then we had like our little list, you know, and there was a few ideas. And then the kid's born and you look at the kid and then the one kind of hits you and then you go with it. But I find like the conversation about what you should name your kid is one of the funnest things about having a kid.
Well,
it's totally enjoyable.
They've taken the fun out of it by making it so serious and
ponder that. Those are fun conversations to have.
In an interesting turn of events, the person I'm currently seeing, who knows for how long, has the number one name, like my favorite name of all time, and it's very unique.
It is a good name.
It's the best name ever, and like I've never met anyone with that name, and I was like,
then how is it your favorite name?
It's
a cool name.
Yeah, there is an adult cartoon that uses this name.
BoJack Horseman.
That's his name.
Okay.
I do
you
love
shouldn't have
BoJack.
said it out loud.
I know, right?
That.
But what I was gonna advise you to do, because this is what I would do, is as soon as they do give you the name, immediately make fun of it. Immediately. Like my friend named her daughter Addison, which is a cute name, right?
I love it.
Like, I go, oh, you mean little Adderall? And she was like, what? Why would you say that? And I'm like, that took me 2 seconds. Okay, give me time. So like I would do the work.
That's funny.
To really ruin whatever name it is, just because that seems fun to me.
You got to think of all the options of things they can be rated over as they grow up.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Well, that's why you bring Corinne in, because she'll come in and be like, how would you bully this?
It would
this
take
kid?
seconds.
Oh, I guess Addison's so boring. She needs a little Addie, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Like
my cousins named their daughter Hannah, and I was like, oh, Hanimal, she's gonna be a real whore. And they were like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
So yeah, you can do that. Okay, now for a go naked.
Oh, I love the go naked.
We're gonna do like a little roulette here of
I like when you reach for your phone, but the only thing I like more than that is when you reach for your index card that she has our Google phone number on. I don't know the last time I've seen in the Knicks card since grad school.
You saw it last week because I always bring index
Well,
cards.
you leave them around.
I know.
And then do you know what I do? I take them and I write my to-do list on them.
Oh.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah. So weird.
Okay, so this is actually not a go naked. I stand corrected. This is an Are We Dating the Same Guy, which I don't often do anymore because they've gotten repetitive. Like, yeah, everyone's like, it's like that whole page is just so.
Sound like a burnt out cop.
This was good. Needing opinions. Been dating this guy for about 3 months now. At first, we really hit it off, and I loved his sense of humor. 3 months later, he's constantly using the same jokes. I do not find them funny anymore. Originally, I thought they were just off-the-cuff jokes he was making up. Now I'm scared he just recycles jokes and he's not actually funny. It seems shallow, but it's like really bothering me. Like it's to the point where I can predict the joke he will make when I say certain things. I appreciate humor, but also don't need my partner to be a comedian. I just really appreciate authenticity, and I feel like I'm starting to realize he's not authentically funny. I feel bad for this, but I'm getting worried because it's to the point where I don't even laugh anymore. I've debated ending the relationship because of it. Maybe I need a reality check. Appreciate any thoughts on this. Now, as an actual comedian, go ahead, weigh in.
This is a huge red flag. And I'll tell you why. What it tells me is that this person hasn't developed a personality to sustain them. Like you have a personality. If I met you in the wild, I would be like, this girl doesn't give a fuck. I would be anxious to hear what you were going to say next. Our 10th date, you would say something wild to the way. I'm like, I don't know where this girl's. I'm intrigued. I want to know more about this person. If you are with somebody who has done nothing but hone skills to be good on the first 3 dates, that's going to be a problem because they don't have anything. It's like if you were like, Al, you promised me that you would turn your book in by the end of this month. Where is it? And I give it to you. And I'm like, just look at the first chapter. And you're like, this looks good. And you don't realize there's nothing else for the other 490 pages. That's what I think that they're looking at. They're somebody that focused on being very good on a first date, which I'm sure there's a lot of Tinder, social, dating app people. You're good for that first 10 meters, but this is a long race, Jack.
I would immediately cut this person loose.
Yes.
I can't spend the rest of my life fake laughing at your just dumb shit. And also, like I'm fine. I date lots of guys that aren't funny, but they think I'm funny, and that's fine. Like I don't need you hat and caning all day. And so I wouldn't last with this at all. And I'm trying to think there's like once in a blue moon where I'll go out with somebody that's like just the stories don't land. I can't do it. I just can't do it.
It's weird when somebody's best story is like just the start of a story you would tell. They'd be like, we went to Vegas and these hookers, they came to our room, and you're like, and then what? And then they're like, oh, we told them to go away. It's like, oh, that's where my story would have started.
Yeah.
And these hookers were in our room, right? And so I think those two people are very, very different people, and you are going to resent every story they tell, and you're going to resent the people that laugh. You're like, oh, you laughed at that whack shit.
So years ago, he was my friend. I'm not going to give his name out, but he's a quite famous football player.
BoJack Horseman.
Right. He was my friend. I've known him for whatever. I don't want to give too much away. I knew him for a really long time. And he was an idiot. He spoke in Anchorman quotes. Like every joke was just an Anchorman quote.
So give me an example. Like, do you want to go out to dinner tonight?
I don't know how to put this, but I'm kind of a big deal.
Milk was a bad choice.
Exactly. It just, but like,
thank you for saving her, Chris. She was frozen.
The point, well, I just can't, like, I don't know the movie well enough, but the point is, he didn't have a well of, he was just, those people that speak in like Wedding Crashers quotes, whatever, like just the tip, like it's how many times?
That was Borat like 15 years ago.
I hate people that repurpose things like that. Like I hate it.
Yeah.
To your point, when you said I have a lot, when like I have like a personality that's a lot. Well, when we were a couple episodes ago, I talked about ski joring, and I had a few drinks, and there was a guy that went out onto the course. He's gonna be ski joring. He goes out on the course in like a Hawaiian shirt and like a cowboy hat, and he's very. You don't need to walk the course, okay? But he's doing that so like everybody in the audience can see. And I just yell out, "Save some pussy for the rest of us!"
That's hilarious.
And my date was so nice about it because it was quiet when he was walking.
That's funny.
Good.
That's funny.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
That's fucking hilarious.
That's
you.
why we need funny people to break up those situations, because in a situation with ski joring, everybody there is going to be pretty well to do. Everybody there is going to be, I went to the
You're
best
ripping
schools.
on him.
Yeah, you need somebody to just yell some funny shit
Yeah.
and break that tension up, that Yale tension.
That's so funny.
But sometimes guys are like, oh, it's quite a potty mouth you've
No,
got there.
that's
good.
funny.
That get them out
See?
of there.
Oh,
Yeah.
You got to get a guy that appreciates you.
Chris, final thoughts.
I think humor in a relationship is the most important thing. I know
Mm.
maybe you don't. I know height is the thing for you, but I think humor is the most important thing. And it's just getting on that same vibe and humor. You know what I mean? Like, so if someone said that,
Yeah.
that's fucking
Chris
funny
is
to me.
still laughing
Like-
about that.
I'm glad because somebody else can
Humor is
appreciate
the
it.
most important thing, and it's subtle. It's not like you're a comedian or anything,
Mhm.
but it's just these subtle observations that you have as a couple when you want your
Yeah.
partner to see something and say the funny thing in the moment, or you do it too and they think it's funny. That's the most important fucking thing in a relationship.
As he's saying this, I want you all to understand his wife is very hot. So
But
it's not-
funny.
yes,
Yes.
she's funny, but she's also
But
really
she's
hot.
funny.
Yeah.
And
She's so
memorable.
funny. Everything she's
Yeah,
funny,
yeah.
not a jokey comedian funny.
Like a
her
dry-
observations,
yeah.
we're both sort of little dark observations.
Right.
Like we have the same humor. We make each other laugh all the time. Also, my kids and I get along because we share humor.
Yeah.
Sharing humor is the key.
It's everything.
everything.
And my relationship is a little bit different as far as like a saint, and she doesn't say anything mean.
She
But-
doesn't say anything funny.
No.
Like, wow, that's harsh.
But you know what's great about her? I love making her laugh because I know it's real. Like
Mhm.
I'll make some jokes
Yeah.
and she won't laugh, and then I'll have a couple where she'll like fall off the couch, and I was like, that's like getting a laugh in a comedy club.
Yeah.
Yeah. So humor is important.
And you guys are funny, and that's why I love doing the pod with you.
Wow.
Yo,
well,
who
thank
would
you.
have thought, man? Yeah, we're doing it. Are you gonna just stare at me?
Yes,
like,
you have to close the show out.
All
dude.
right, but you're just looking at me like you don't speak English, and I didn't know what I was supposed to do.
I'm like, we're over. You got to close this
You
out.
usually give me the nod with the closeout.
I know, I was trying
and
not
now
to
you're
do
giving
that.
me the big mom stage eyes. Get off. Guys, I think the last 10 seconds shows why you tune into this podcast, because this isn't just a podcast about life. That would be ridiculous.
This podcast is a podcast about decaf espresso martinis that his girlfriend made for all of us.
Shout out. Love
Cheers,
y'all.
guys.